President Bola Tinubu approves grant to federal workers, authorizes partial waiver of the no work, no pay order on resident doctors. INEC chairman speaks on preparedness of off-cycle polls.
So far, all non-sensitive materials for the election have been delivered to the 3 states.
Plus, Borno State government intensifies efforts at resettling displaced communities.
What we intend to do is to come and mold about 1 million blocks so that 500 housing units of 2 rooms will be constructed within the next 3-4 months.
Hello and welcome to the Network News on NTA. I'm Naja'atu Tijani. Adiola Komiakiri is in Lagos, and it's always a delight to have you join us. Do remember that the news is also always live on our website, nta.ng/live. Remember to also follow us across all social media platforms displayed on the screen for the latest news. President Bola Tinubu has approved the grant of a wage award of 35,000 naira per month to all federal government workers with effect from September 2023, pending the signing of a new national minimum wage expected to be signed into law. A statement by the Chairman and Chief Executive Officer, National Salaries, Income and Wages Commission, (ECONTA), indicates that the implementation of the 35,000 naira per month wage award for all federal government ministries, departments and agencies which are Treasury funded will be funded from the Treasury, while non-Treasury funded federal government agencies are to implement the same from their internally generated revenue or statutory allocations. Similarly, President Bola Tinubu has approved the waiver of the no work, no pay order which was instituted against members of the National Association of Resident Doctors who were on strike. President Tinubu has also directed the grant of an exceptional last waiver of the no work, no pay order on resident doctors, which will allow for the members of NARD to receive the salaries which were previously withheld during the 17-day strike action. The grant of the waiver has a mandatory requirement that the Ministry of Health and Social Welfare and the Ministry of Labor and Employment secure a document of understanding establishing that this exceptional waiver granted by the President will be the last one to be granted to the National Association of Resident Doctors and all other health sector unions. And still on workers' welfare, in view of his determination to mitigate the difficulties being felt during the implementation of key economic reforms in the country, as well as his recognition of the faithful implementation of terms which were agreed upon during the fruitful deliberations between ASU and the federal government of Nigeria, President Bola Tinubu has also directed the grant of an exceptional last waiver of the no work, no pay order on ASU, which will allow for the members who were previously on strike to receive 4 months of salary accruals out of 8 months of salary, which was withheld during the 8-month industrial action undertaken by the union in 2022. The President has directed the grant of waiver with a mandatory requirement that the Federal Ministry of Education and the Ministry of Labor and Employment must secure a document of understanding establishing that this exceptional waiver granted by the President will be the last one to be granted to the Academic Staff Union of Universities and all other education sector unions. Meanwhile, President Bola Tinubu has confirmed the appointment of Adewale Adeniyi as Comptroller General of the Nigeria Customs Service. A statement from the Office of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation indicates that the appointment takes effect from October 19, 2023, and his tenure is in accordance with the extant provisions of the Public Service Rules. The President tasks him to bring his wealth of experience to bear on his new assignment. President Bola Tinubu has also approved the appointment of Mr. Shaka Achira as the Substantive Auditor General of the Federation, as recommended by the Federal Civil Service Commission as the most qualified candidate, who had also scored the highest in the examination amongst all qualified candidates for the office. President Bola Tinubu expects the new Auditor General to justify the confidence reposed in him and live up to the high expectations which Nigerians have concerning the execution of the renewed hope agenda of this administration. President Bola Tinubu has approved the appointment of 2 new chief executive officers of agencies under the Federal Ministry of Health and Social Welfare. The Executive Secretary, CEO, National Primary Healthcare Development Agency, Dr. Muyi Aino; Director General, CEO, National Health Insurance Authority, Dr. Kelechi Ohiri. President Tinubu urges the new leadership of these 2 critical agencies in the sector to prioritize quality, fairness and accountability in providing world-class healthcare to all segments of the Nigerian society. More leaders are expressing hope that despite the current challenging socio-economic situation, Nigerians will soon witness the benefits of measures being taken by the current administration. Former Governor of Nasarawa State, Umaru Al-Makura, who spoke to State House correspondents after meeting the President, acknowledged that the hard decisions taken by the President are necessary to redirect the economy and move the country towards greatness.
I have seen the renewed agenda, renewed hope agenda, as something that will change the scheme of things for the better for this country, especially in the areas of security, economic development, and already we can start seeing how sustainable growth and sustainability is being achieved. If you look at the area of security, you see that a lot of efforts are being made to calm the fears of Nigerians in the economic sector too, and the well-being of Nigerians. I think Nigerians should be patient. I'm sure sooner than later, the vision and policies of this administration will rub positively on Nigerians.
And still on the welfare of Nigerians, Nigeria's First Lady, Oluremi Tinubu, says the deliberate and active engagement of womenfolk by the Tinubu administration will quicken the pace of development in Nigeria, calling on government at all levels to be intentional in this regard. This was while in audience with the national women leader of the All Progressives Congress, Mary Alile, at the Villa. State House correspondent Adeni Taiwo reports.
The current administration has received a lot of applause for bringing more women into governance, especially in the area of appointments into key positions.
We want to say congratulations.
With a deputy in tow, the national women leader of the APC, Mary Idile, is at the office of the First Lady, Oluremi Tinubu, to thank her for playing an active role in changing the narrative. The ruling party, she says, boasts of qualified women who are waiting in the wings to be called upon for national duty. And apart from engaging them in governance, equally important is the need to create better access for women, particularly those in the rural areas across the country, to understand and benefit from government policies and programs.
We want to have avenue where we can remove the stigmatization of women in politics in Nigeria, so that we can have more women, more young girls come into politics.
There is more optimism on the part of the First Lady, who sees the playing field getting better for women as government maintains the trajectory of engaging more of them. To achieve more impact, the First Lady encouraged those found worthy of such roles to always reach out to key stakeholders.
Those who have appointments shouldn't see it as an island unto themselves. My advice to them is, if you are given a position, you are representing millions of women. So you shouldn't take it for granted. So you should be able to represent them well.
And for young women who are interested in politics to fit in, the First Lady says they must be mentored into maturity. In the State House, Adeni Taiwo, NTA News.
And now to the resettlement scheme in Borno State. More displaced communities in Bama local government area have been marked for reconstruction and resettlement as Borno State government intensifies its resettlement drive. Governor Babagana Umar Zulum spent 2 days in the area assessing Termua and Darajmal, 2 of the 4 communities earmarked for reconstruction as part of efforts to return citizens to normal life. Mohammed Ghani reports.
Governor Babagana Umar Zulum set out to Termua village, a displaced agrarian community about 4 kilometers away from Banki. Though a short trip, the entourage had to disembark and walk through a thick forest, crossing a shallow river to get to the displaced ravaged community.
I promised to them that government will soon start the reconstruction exercise, inshallah. Furthermore, they want to participate in this year's irrigation farming. Irrigation farming is very vital for the overall development of our own country. Resettlement will never be sustainable without means of livelihood.
Borno State government also plans to construct 500 houses in Dara Jamal, another community ravaged by the insurgents, to enable the people return to normal life, while schools, health clinic and district health residents are rebuilt in line with regional stabilization strategy.
What we intend to do is to come and mold about 1 million blocks so that 500 housing units of 2 rooms will be constructed within the next 3-4 months.
The governor believes that resettlement efforts cannot be realized without collaboration with the military. Hence the visit to army formations within the area to seek for support to the resettlement drive and to secure Bama Banki Road from attacks on commuters, as well as support for resuscitation of farming activities. From Bama headquarters to Bama local government, Mohammed Ghani, NTA News.
There'll be more on housing right after some messages. Stay tuned. Thanks for staying tuned. We're talking building blocks, but not of the housing kind. The Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, says Nigeria's foreign policy agenda, known as the Tinubu Doctrine, built on 4 pillars of democracy, demography, diaspora and development, is determined to reinforce Nigeria's position as a leader in Africa. The minister said this at the first Angola and Nigeria Business Forum held in Abuja. Salihu Gwanara reports.
Nigeria and Angola have common destiny as both countries are blessed with enormous natural resources as Africa's leading oil producers. Minister of Information and National Orientation was among key industry players at the inauguration of the Angola and Nigeria Business Council, an initiative, he says, is in line with President Bola Tinubu's vision that African countries forge deeper and stronger connections that allow the continent a bigger and more positions on the global stage.
Africans must be united in our thinking around development, industrialization, trade, job creation, and the place of our continent in the 21st century. Among other things, we are working on signing an MOU on public communication and media exchange with the Embassy of Angola in Nigeria as part of efforts at deepening our relationship. I look forward to this and many more demonstrations of our bilateral alignments.
Participants agreed that the proposed business partnership will provide an opportunity for more efficiency and productivity to increase wealth and prosperity for both countries. In Abuja, Saliu Gwanara, NTA News.
And there is improved bilateral relations between Nigeria and South Korea as President Tinubu emphasizes the need for greater South Korean investment in the establishment of local industries for youth employment and technology transfer. This is as Nigeria seeks to understudy and replicate South Korea's national transportation system. The president received a South Korean delegation at the State House as a follow-up to an earlier discussion with President Yoon Suk-yeol during the G20 Leaders Summit in New Delhi, India. President Tinubu During the meeting, he commended the efforts which have been made in implementing the commitments made during his discussions with President Yoon in India, noting that these commitments are aimed at strengthening the economic and technological partnership framework between the two nations. The president said the project is an important opportunity for fruitful collaboration and the evolution of a pragmatic and dynamic business partnership. President Tinubu further describes Nigeria as the largest economy in Africa, with an energetic and vibrant youthful population eager to make things happen. The president says his government is committed to removing any obstacle which may hinder the flow of investment between the two countries, and the special envoy delivered President Yoon's letter to President Tinubu outlining the South Korean president's instructions to South Korean ministries to diligently implement the important projects discussed during their meeting on the margins of the G20 summit, including the conclusion of the Trade and Investment Promotion Framework between both countries. The envoy also conveyed an invitation to President Tinubu to attend the Africa-Korea Summit scheduled for June 4 to 5, 2024 in Seoul, while seeking Nigeria's support for South Korea's bid to host Expo 2030 in Busan, South Korea. And back home, talking oil matters rather, NNPC Retail Limited, a subsidiary of NNPC Limited, says there's no cause for alarm despite the appearance of fuel queues in some parts of Lagos and a few other locations around the country. Attributing the visible queues to reduced depot loadout in Apapa, Lagos over a few days, the statement reiterates that the root cause has since been addressed and assures all Nigerians and motorists of ample supply with sufficiency of at least 30 days. The statement urges motorists to rest assured that distribution will soon normalize. The Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited has resolved to continuously work on projects which will make a huge impact on society. The manager, Corporate Communications, NNPC Exploration and Production, Abubakar Dahiru, stated this during the inauguration of a newly built administrative complex at the University of Benin by the NNPC Limited. Lydia Sampson reports.
The manager, Corporate Communications, NNPC Exploration and Limited, Abubakar Dahiru, who was represented by the Deputy Manager Media, Waribo Kuki, says the building of the administrative edifice for the institution is part of its corporate social responsibility, targeted at providing state-of-the-art educational facilities, conducive global best practices in teaching and learning environment for sustainable education in Nigeria.
NNPC prides itself in corporate social responsibility projects, and this you can see here is one of those kind of projects. Thank God this has come to fruition today, and we look forward to coming back here to commission the hostels in the nearest possible time.
The official inauguration of the office and handover is not just symbolic but game-changing.
It came as a big shocker for us when we got this edifice, like you've seen now, of staff offices, which will help, in the area of relocating some of our staff who were forced in the past to share, office space.
The contractor assures the stakeholders of durability of the project.
We really did our very best because we deliver on good projects, high quality projects with durability, structural stability, to stand the test of time.
2 more hostels are also under construction in the institution by the NNPC Limited. Lydia Sampson, NTA News.
On the health scene, one of Nigeria's leading pharmaceutical giants, Emzor Pharmaceutical Industries Limited, has signed a €40 million financing deal with the European Investment Bank at the Presidential Villa in Abuja for the Active Pharmaceutical Ingredients API project, opening a new vista in the growth and development of Africa's pharmaceutical industry. Uche Ugochukwu reports.
Local production of active pharmaceutical ingredients, APIs, is no doubt crucial in driving Nigeria closer to medicine sufficiency. Lack of funds has, however, remained a major constraint to producing APIs. This loan agreement aims at enabling Emzor's active pharmaceutical ingredients factory to produce an estimated 400 metric tons of APIs annually, beginning from February 2024.
So these are the raw materials that goes into the production of pharmaceutical drugs. And currently in Nigeria, and I'm pretty sure all of West Africa and probably Sub-Saharan Africa, these APIs are 100% imported into the country. So we're very grateful to the EIB for availing us this financing.
The EU-EMZO partnership is expected to accelerate malaria treatment while ensuring healthcare access across Nigeria and the African continent, as well as reduction in the dependency on importation of essential medicines.
We've clearly demonstrated to the rest of the world that Africa and Nigeria can produce something that is excellent and global in its essence.
We boosted investments by the European Investment Bank in Nigeria, and we held business forums, and the EU remained your most important trading partner.
The EU Bank's delegation earlier took a tour of EMZO's expansive factory in Shagamu, Ogun State, and described the site as a trailblazer in Africa. EMZO's other factory, which houses plants such as the oral solid dosage, intravenous fluids, penicillin, gas plants and other support utilities, set to currently produce close to 20 billion tablets annually. Uche Ugochukwu, NTA News.
With the establishment of a presidential committee on fiscal policy and tax reforms in Nigeria, the federal government and individuals are joining forces to combat issues affecting taxation and its full implementation in the country. This came up at the launch of a book titled The Taxation Pendula in Abuja. Bossede Abel reports.
Increased compliance with tax payment towards achieving success and educating Nigerians on the importance of taxation is the reason for this gathering. The 1,249-page book, which comprises 22 chapters, is a breakdown of all aspects of Nigeria's tax ecosystem.
And Finance Act said instead of exempting everything, anything above 10 million should be subjected to capital gains tax.
The book also analyzed adjunct areas of importance in relation to mineral resources and administration of certain statutory departments in the mining space.
An encyclopedia of taxation and finance that swings like the pendulum, as described by guests. It is a book that would renew the tax space of the nation.
This has to be part and parcel of us. We don't need someone from Harvard or Cambridge to come and teach us how to rake revenue through taxation. It is homegrown.
I believe federal government can utilize him in the implementation of what they want to do.
What this book has been able to do is to be able to ensure that definitive terms as to what the tax laws are well outlined.
It is hoped that with the interpretation of tax laws and other issues, the taxation pendula, the effect of Financial Act on the Nigerian taxation system, will be a reminder that will capture more individuals into the nation's tax net towards a greater nation. In Abuja, Bossede Abel continues.
And now the pendulum will swing towards Benny Adams for more on the Business Circle. Benny.
Thank you, Najatu, and welcome to Business. As smaller businesses await fulfillment of government promise towards adequate power supply to boost economic activities, players in the sector say access to foreign exchange for essential imports is a challenge and advocate adoption of solar energy sources as alternative while appealing to government to resolve the forex crisis.
Commercial banks, they don't have enough to, provide for their customers. We had earlier relied on I&E window from CBN, and for the past 6 months we've been applying to get some dollars from CBN. Up until now we've not been able to raise $1 on the streets to buy through the black market, but it's still not available. And when it is available, it's as high as anything, so you can't even move on. And there are chances of you getting due a lot of things are coming on board. People will tell you, we have this dollar, you need to sign this contract and all this. So if you're not careful, you also fall into bad hands. So it's really critical, and I really want to appeal to government to do something about it.
Meanwhile, oil prices extended gains on Friday and were on track to rise for a second week of heightened fears that the Israel-Gaza crisis may spread in the Middle East and disrupt supply from one of the world's top producing regions. Brent crude futures was up 75 cents to $93.13 a barrel, while U.S. West Texas Intermediate crude was at $90.04 a barrel, up 67 cents. The front-month November contract expired today. And taking a look at the last day of trading in the stock exchange market, 205.8 million shares in 4,986 deals corresponding to a market value of 6.380 billion naira were traded. Today's data shows 31% decline in volume, 42% improvement in turnover, but 9% decline in deals. The current market capitalization is 36.8 trillion naira. Fidelity Bank recorded the highest volume of 28.1 million traded shares, followed by FCMB Group 18 million and Zenith Bank 18 million volume of shares. Well, that is business news. But network news continues with Adiola in Lagos. Adiola, is over to you.
Thank you, Benny. Motorists plying Nigerian roads have been reminded to drive with caution and comply with other safety regulations necessary to change the tide of road crashes synonymous with the Ember months. The Sector Commander, Federal Road Safety Corps, Lagos State Command, Babatunde Faridoye, re-emphasized this at the agency's safety campaign for the Ember months. Dana Jale completes the report.
Available statistics from the Federal Road Safety Corps shows that between January and September 2023, Lagos State alone recorded no fewer than 353 auto crashes, with 79 deaths and 603 injuries of varied degrees. Some of the reasons cited as contributory factors to road accidents include speed violation, improper overtaking, and driving under the influence of alcohol.
In my own way, I can't speed more than 40.
Enlightenment for drivers members, time to time, and ensure proper monitor of their vehicle.
The Ember Months campaign is an integral part of the Federal Road Safety Corps strategic interventions towards increasing consciousness of Nigerians to the realities of road traffic crashes and implications on lives and property.
And the theme of our campaign this year is speed thrills but kills. Drive responsibly.
Today's event is reminding all consumers, particularly drivers, about the harms and ills of drinking while driving.
We are trying to do is to ensure that we drive into their system so that they can be cautious on the road and ensure that we have a free Ember period.
Do what is right, avoid infractions that are life-threatening, because during this period, anyone caught in the web of this kind of life-threatening violation will be subject to psychological evaluation.
Drivers and other road users have been advised to obey traffic rules and regulations at all times to prevent road crashes. In Lagos, Diana Ajale, NTA News.
Lagos State government will stop at nothing to ensure the Nigerian entertainment industry surpasses its current rating as one of the leading film industries in the world. Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu gave the assurance during the groundbreaking ceremony of a $100 million film city in Ejiri, Ekpe Division in Lagos. Musa Toliat will give us the report.
With this symbolic groundbreaking for the construction of a film city, Lagos State is set to emerge as a global powerhouse for creativity and innovation in the world of entertainment. The film city, planned to sit pretty on 100 hectares of land, will serve as an all-in-one facility with leisure, entertainment, and learning infrastructure. Funding of the entertainment legacy is expected to be driven by public-private partnership, an integral part of Themes Plus agenda of Lagos State government.
There is a vast amount of talent scattered across this country. And so the idea behind the Lagos Film City is to create an ecosystem that bridges the gap between academia and industry.
As construction is set to commence, there is need to woo investors and encourage host community to exhibit tolerance and commitment.
Time is against us. We need to start like yesterday and will not wait. And so joiners will join us, collaborators were ready to collaborate, investors were ready to sit with you and work with you as you come along to realize this dream with us. Your task is to help us protect the site. KBC, let us reflect a conducive, host, collaborative environment.
It is my utmost belief by the time the Lagos Film City comes on stream, the spiral effect of the state profile as a tourist destination of choice, economy, employment, and other opportunities will be appreciated beyond the entertainment sector.
Stakeholders in film industry couldn't be happier for the multi-million-dollar investment in their constituency.
This you have done today gives us that much confidence that at any point in time, your door is open for the entertainers.
The Lagos Film City is said to be the largest in Africa when completed, and it is expected to offer massive employment opportunities in the country. In Lagos, Musa Tolia, NTA News.
And that's a contribution from Lagos. The network news will continue after this time out. Please stay.
It's nice to know you're still watching the network news on NTA, and felicitations are in order as President Bola Ahmed Tinubu warmly felicitates the Oba of Benin, His Royal Majesty Omonoba Nedo Ukuakpolopolo Waye II, as he marks his 70th birthday and 7th coronation anniversary. In the statement, President Tinubu rejoices with the government and people of Edo State, the royal family, the Benin Traditional Council, and most especially the good people of Benin as their highly revered traditional ruler turns 70. The President enjoins the Oba to continue to use his exalted position and divine endowment for the promotion of arts, culture, and the values which the Benin Kingdom and the Nigerian people hold sacrosanct. President Bola Tinubu wishes the Oba many more years of good health and fulfillment on the throne. All is now set for the Bayelsa, Imo and Kogi governorship elections coming up on November 11th. INEC Chairman Professor Mahmoud Yakubu stated the Commission's preparedness in a meeting with the resident electoral commissioners in Abuja. Mia Ugidi reports.
The podiums are busy again in Bayelsa, Imo and Kogi states. Dance steps that electorate will see once every 4 years are out again with convincing promises. While the candidates embark on their different strategies to get victory, INEC Chairman Professor Mahmoud Yakubu meeting the 37 resident electoral commissioners. They are 37, but 34 are on relaxed mood, while 3 are on the hot seat for the 11/11/2023 elections.
So far, all non-sensitive materials for the election have been delivered to the 3 states. The Commission plans to deploy a total of 46,084 regular and ad hoc staff for the election.
INEC seems set for the job, but there is fear on one front.
We are concerned about the prevailing insecurity and election-related violence in the 3 states.
It takes positive results to cancel insult, and the glitches experienced in the 2023 general election will not be repeated.
Valuable lessons have been learned from the 2023 general election for improved performance in the forthcoming elections.
Just 3 weeks to go. Results will be uploaded, INEC promised. And Nigerians are watching with keen interest the processes and the outcome of the 3 governorship elections. Mie Ogede, NT News.
Meanwhile, the Supreme Court has impaneled a 7-man panel of justices to hear the appeal of Atiku Abubakar, challenging the decision of the Presidential Election Petition Court, which dismissed its petition. Atiku Abubakar, in his petition at the court, challenged the outcome of the February 25 presidential election, leading to the declaration and return of President Bola Tinubu. The Apex Court will equally hear the application of the appellant seeking leave to bring fresh evidence to prove his appeal. Atiku Abubakar participated in the February 25, 2023 election as the presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party, and the court will be hearing the matter next week, Monday. It's time for more messages. Do stay tuned. The Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, has pledged to support the Nigeria Customs Service in realizing its mandate. The minister made the pledge when he received the Comptroller General of the Service, Bashir Adewale Adeni, who paid him a courtesy visit in Abuja. Bashir Adeni was earlier confirmed as the substantive Comptroller General. Onose Yakubu reports.
Meeting, which is at the behest of the Acting Controller General of Customs, is to congratulate the minister on his appointment and to solicit support in their desire to establish primary and secondary schools for officers' children and wards.
We need education for our kids. We need very good medical provisions for them, and we are working with appropriate agencies in the FCT to ensure this is done. But Your Excellency, the customs would want to contribute our own quota to educational development in the FCT by owning our own school, both for primary and for secondary school. And one of the things that we would request as a valuable stakeholder, government, and a strategic partner for that would be the provision of adequate land for us.
FCT Minister Nyesom Wike assures his administration support to provide land for the school's establishment, but with a caveat.
Schools, very important. It's not only our children that will go to those schools. Our own children, other people's own children will go to those schools. My policy now, before I approve land to any agency, that they will commit that will develop this land within so number of years. If it is not developed, the government, the FCT should take back their land. I will not allocate land that will be for Dankin.com. And to assure you, we're giving you a number of years.
Nyesom Wike, however, rejected the Nigerian Customs Service's request for reconsideration over its revoked land by the FCT administration. Onoze Yakubu, NTA News.
People in positions of leadership must be responsible enough to render selfless service to humanity for the sake of posterity. This is the crux of the third induction ceremony of the University of Abuja Leadership Center in Public Governance and Leadership. Abdullahi Musa Sileja reports.
It is said that leadership problem is one of the factors that impedes development in Nigeria. So, University of Abuja, as an institution that provides solutions to societal challenges, thought it wise to establish a center of excellence in leadership which trains its product with skills and traits on how to become good leaders in the society.
We are the best in the world.
Lectures dwelled on leadership and politics throughout a paradigm shift for Africa.
What is going on here today is grooming good leaders that will have a new mindset to give new leadership to Nigeria.
The essence of this center is that it was established to train Nigerians on the elements, the nature and elements of leadership.
We want to instill on current leaders, the elderly ones, the grown-up ones, the quality of the kind of leadership that Nigeria needs.
This is the third in the series when students, among them public figures in the society, are inducted into the center. Abdullahi Musa Suleja, NTA News.
Sports Minister promises to attract more corporate support for sports development. Details with Olumide Eguntola on Sports Update.
MFM women's basketball team emerged champions of the 2023 Zenith Women Premier Basketball League, which ended Thursday evening at the Indoor Sports Hall of the National Stadium, Lagos. Minister of Sports Development John Eno, among other dignitaries, applauded the quality of the local-based players in the league. In the finals, MFM beat Nigeria Customs 64-60.
When we compete in the sub-region, in the continent and internationally, we want to present our best. If that best is from the local teams and the local league, why not?
From the Nigeria Premier League, Week 4 actions take center stage this weekend across designated stadia in the Federation. Table toppers Benden Insurance will play away to Gombe United. Same for Shooting Stars of Ibadan, that will be the guest of Aqua United, among other matches. In volleyball, about 200 volleyball coaches in Nigeria are attending skills sharpening training to enhance the game. The training is part of the annual general meeting at the National Stadium, Abuja.
It will unite us, a situation where coaches will not be fighting each other on the court, coaches will not be fighting referees on the court.
In another development, our golfer Dr. Adeshola Falaye is galvanizing efforts to combat cancer in children under the auspices of For the Love of Golf Season 4. She's leading her team to impact the lives of children living with cancer to tame the tide of death associated with cancer in children.
Like everybody has said, it's a death sentence, but then you can still help to make them comfortable while they're going through that. And there have been cases where they're actually cured.
When you think about cancer treatment, you think For the Love of Golf.
In another news, all is now set for the first Mr. Universe Nigeria 2023 Bodybuilding and Fitness Championship, scheduled for the Museum Center, Lagos, Saturday.
And when you win that pro card, it attracts an American green card. That simply means you could compete anywhere in the world or choose where you want to live in the world.
About 30 bodybuilders from 5 countries took part in the weigh-in Friday ahead of the championship, which is a pro qualifier event to produce professional bodybuilders. With sports update, Olumide Guntola, NTA News.
President Bola Tinubu is deeply saddened by the demise of Ambassador Mansur Nuhu Bamali, the Chargé d'Affaires in the Embassy of Nigeria in Rabat, Morocco. The distinguished diplomat passed away on Friday at the age of 42. In a statement, President Tinubu expresses his sympathy and condolences to the Emir of Zazzau, His Royal Highness Alhaji Ahmad Nuhu Bamali, on the passing of his brother. Joining the Bamali family, Zazzau Emirate, and members of the Nigerian Foreign Service in mourning the loss of the Magajingar in Zazzau. The Speaker of the House of Representatives, Tajuddin Abbas, has also expressed grief over the death of the Chargé d'Affaires, Ambassador Mansur Nuhu Bamali. In a statement of condolence through his special advisor on media and publicity, Musa Trushi, the Speaker says Nigeria and the Zazzau Emirate have lost an illustrious son who served the country diligently to the best of his ability, and prays for the repose of his soul. And that concludes the news on NTA. Thanks for watching.